We'll be fine. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another edition of the Motor City Mad Mouth Show. My name is Scott Morganroth, the Motor City Mad Mouth. I have a pretty good show lined up, and I have a good friend and somebody that's going to talk about it. We're talking about Equine Assisted Therapies of South Florida, and I brought in the executive director, Molly Murphy, to talk about it. Molly, welcome to the big show.
Hey, Scott, thanks for having me tonight. I appreciate it.
Oh, you're welcome. Hey, the only time we're going to promote that company is when you and I do it, and nobody else. It's you and I get an opportunity to do this stuff. So great stuff.
Awesome.
All right, so Mel, I'm going to ask you to go ahead and provide us a little bit of background on yourself.
Sure. So, like you said, I'm the executive director of Equine Assisted Therapy. We are a nonprofit organization here in Coconut Creek that was founded in 1982. So we've been inside Tradewinds Park for about 38 years. We provide equine assisted services to children, adults, and veterans with disabilities using horsepower. And I'm really excited to talk to you tonight, Scott, about everything that we do.
Oh, yeah, you and I have a lot to get to. So, all right, so Mel, why don't you go ahead and give us an overview of the Equine Assisted Therapies of South Florida, their mission and how it works and how long they've been around. I know you talked about it, but why don't you just reiterate for those that are just joining us?
Sure. So, like I said, founded in 1982, we are a center that offers 5 different types of programs. 2 are mounted or riding based, and 3 are unmounted or non-riding based. So,
Right.
the 2 mounted programs are therapeutic riding and hippotherapy. If you're wondering if you heard that correctly, you did. It's hippo, like the animal in the water. But hippo is Greek for horse. And at Equine Assisted Therapies of South Florida, we serve more medically fragile individuals through that physical therapy program. It's very intensive, typically 1-to-1 for us. And therapeutic riding, the outcome is teaching individuals with disabilities the fine mechanics of riding. So the outcomes in both of those programs are different, although the intrinsic value is there of that relationship with the horse and riding and feeling the movement and everything like that. For those viewers or listeners that don't know, a horse moves in a 3-dimensional motion. So for someone that doesn't move in that way, the horse movement turns on muscles that the body typically doesn't use. I know, Scott, you asked me at the beginning of the show to tell the viewers a little bit about myself. I am a leader with a disability. I have spastic cerebral palsy, which means my muscles are really tight. So when I ride a horse, like I said, those muscles are activated, but my muscles are also, given a stretch that is honestly hard for me to achieve on my own or in a gym or clinical setting. So horse is like using all the gym equipment in one. And then the unmounted programs are unmounted horsemanship, where the outcome is teaching individuals with disabilities how to care for horses, basic to
Mm-hmm.
advanced. And then equine assisted psychotherapy, which is our mental health program, and that we serve nonprofit groups, veterans, and individuals. And then we have equine assisted learning, which teaches leadership and presence in and amongst horses too. So we're
Well, you
busy.
talk about okay. You talk about cerebral palsy. You know what? Let me give you. You're not alone. There's a guy who actually, the Detroit Tigers broadcaster Jason Bonetti, who's now working for NBC Sports. I don't know if you've heard his name or not, but actually
Yeah.
he has it too, and he's doing pretty well for himself. And I got to know him last year. So cerebral palsy, let's face it, people work around it, but they live a pretty good lifestyle with it. It's just one of those situations like any ailment, you have to work through it and get used to working through it as well. And I know Jason as well. Now, one of the things I thought was cute when you gave me a testimonial over at the chamber meeting before is how when we did our one-on-one interview, you talked about the 70-30 approach that I had. And
Yes.
I know that we talked a lot, but I love you, Molly, for saying, I want to remember the 70-30. So for your first show, you ever heard of Don Mattingly?
Have I heard of him? No, I haven't.
Well, a lot of New York Yankees fans have, and I had opportunity to talk to Don Mattingly, who's now currently with the Philadelphia Phillies, and I interviewed him obviously, and he had on the Motor City Mad Mouse show with the remote version. And you know what? Candy's going to go ahead and insert a clip of what he thought about the 70-30 theory, and I got the idea, Molly, because of you. And with all due respect, Don to me is just one of the most unbelievable people. I want to make sure we get your show started on a note that, if you didn't know Don Manley, Molly, you know him now. Go ahead,
Awesome.
Candy.
I need a little bit of advice now from you. You always give it to me anyways. I know the Alzheimer's thing. You've always been saying, hey, keep battling and all the concussions. But now I'm looking at probably expanding my portfolio to go 70-30 non. You know what? I've done it a lot in sports. Do you think it's a pretty good idea at ages like ours to maybe rebrand a little bit and expand that portfolio?
Nothing wrong with growing, right, and getting better and better over the years. And I don't know if I don't really talk about retirement. I just talk about doing less. And I still love being a part of the game. And the same for you, right? You want to be a part of the game or whatever your interests, where they lie.
Yeah.
You should never just go home and sit around the house, though, for sure.
Well, right now, the biggest thing about Alzheimer's, though, and a lot of the head injuries I've had to deal with, mainly attributed, if I'm not active, I'm in trouble. So I have to do that in order to survive. I'm not going to go stale in hearing this from you. But, the 70-30, I guess you have to know when the time is right to make a change like that, whatever it may be. Isn't that what you really know in your mind when you have to make a change, when the right time is to do it?
Yeah, I think you follow your heart, right? You follow what you love to do and things that you love. Like you said, you want to keep your mind active and stay active. So, I'm probably not the guy to be giving advice, but for me, that's the way I think I would look at it is I want to stay active. I want to keep having interest in things and whatever that may be, but I also want to enjoy life a little bit.
See, quite the contrary. You are the guy who should be giving advice, let alone to somebody like me, because I value you more than anybody in the world. I really do, Don. I
appreciate that.
Yeah, you're a brother, a friend, and a lot more. So Don Manning joining the Motor City Mad Mouse show. He's in lessons from the microphone, tuning into the enduring wisdom of visionary leaders. In the first book, he's going to be in the second one. And I just have to figure out what picture I'm going to use. The Marlins, the Phillies. I can't keep up with this guy. But you know what? I know one thing. I love this guy. And he's obviously the one guy in the world that I think so much of. God bless Don for joining us today. I love you, my man.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, Molly, on a little piece of history of Don Mattingly. There was a lot to digest there, okay? What was your take from what I asked him about not only the 70-30 theory, but in general in terms of how you go about your business over at, obviously, Equine Assisted Therapies of South Florida?
I couldn't agree with him more, Scott, when he said to do what you love. So whether that's, if you're not retired and you're still in your profession, it's finding your niche and really sinking your teeth into something that makes you tick. And if you're retired, finding a place that you can volunteer that really fills that heart space. I can relate because I'm blessed to do that here at Equine Assisted Therapies. It's, the best organization, my dream and privilege, honestly, to lead it and really continue to provide the services to, our children and adults that we serve.
Candy, why don't you put a couple pictures up here to give everybody a little bit of an idea. Molly, what I'm going to have you do is describe each picture and what everybody should be looking at.
Sure. So this is actually a great example of a field trip that we did. It's unmounted horsemanship, where we are helping people become more horsey, really breaking down sensory defensiveness and encouraging people to get over the fear that sometimes people have of horses. So that's an introduction. We're doing the handshake. They're allowing people, people are allowing the horse to smell them and, create that bond or start to create that bond. So that is a wonderful example of unmounted horsemanship with Ginny, the horse.
Okay. All right. There's the other one.
Yes, this is an awesome picture. We are the Broward County host site for the Equestrian Special Olympic Games. So this is this year's games. This is Hallery the horse with her athlete Jamie, and the volunteer is Kelly, and the coach is Kat on the left-hand side. So essentially, Jamie's getting ready to compete in 2 competitions. He'll do the English equitation, and he'll do working English trail. And all of the athletes are judged in both of those categories or both of those competitions. And then the athletes have sometimes, depending on the year, the opportunity to advance to area and state. This year we did not advance. We're working on rebuilding our herd of horses. So if I could make a plug to your listeners and your viewers real quick, if anybody out there knows of a horse or someone with a horse that you think would enjoy this work, give us a call, because we are looking to fill our herd with willing participants, willing partners in service. I'm going to just give my phone number. It's 954-974-2007 here at the office. Give us a call and we can talk to you about your horses or your horse.
Sounds good to me. If you want to plug it before we end it, you can do it again. So Molly, what cultivated you to get into this profession?
I've always been drawn to the nonprofit and public sector space and serving others in my community. So I knew I wanted to be of service, particularly within the nonprofit sector. And this organization is near and dear to my heart, specifically because I grew up in the program. So I started in the program at age 7. I participated all the way up into age 18. So it is really meaningful to me to be sitting in this chair doing this work on, at this level as a previous participant, because I can really speak to the impact of the program, what it had on my life, what it had on my family's life and continues to have. So it's really special to me to see our families come through and enjoy the power of horses.
So obviously the company we're dealing with has they're a nonprofit organization. So can you go into more details about the nonprofit and how they were able to get connected in that sense?
So Equine Assisted Therapies started out as a community project from a women's group. So the Seroptimist Club of Boca Raton, Deerfield Beach actually started this program way back in 1982 after they saw another program in Miami-Dade and they wanted to bring it to our community. So we have those women to thank for starting us, as well as the Kiwanis Club of Deerfield Beach Sunrise at the time.
Mm-hmm.
So with their collaboration, we've been making an impact in our community for 44 years, and we rely off of the generosity and the steam of private family foundations, individual donors, volunteers. We have over 175 volunteers that help us execute our mission every week. Not including our special events where we always need volunteers too, and our board of directors as well.
Wow. So I have a question for you, and that's this. My favorite horse, you retired at Fire. Okay. How's Fire doing and where did it end up?
Fire is doing great, actually. Yes, we retired Fire this past weekend. Fire is a great example of one of our horses that we actually paid a rescue fee for. Fire was rescued by another agency from a slaughter truck. So he started here at Equine Assisted Therapies at age 3. He was 23 when he retired. So he served the mission willingly for 20 years, which is so amazing. And it speaks to the incredible power of these animals that we are privileged to work with every day. He's at a private home, loving life, turned out with new friends. And, we're just so excited to be able to steward him to his next chapter with, friends of the organization who love Fire dearly just as much as we do.
So I've got one more question, because this is going to be a continuous series with Molly and I. This isn't a one and done. But let's talk about the horses in general, okay? And explain what their role is. You bring them in, and let everybody know how the program works, how they work with the disabilities and all that, because I'm sure a lot of people might be wondering, well, how do you plug the horses into the therapy portion of all of that?
Yeah, I mean, that's part of the puzzle piece that we work to solve. I mean, well, starting with how do we find our horses? Horses in therapy programs, not just equine assisted therapies of South Florida, but everywhere, some therapy programs have a hard time finding horses. So we rely on our community to kind of put us in touch with potential herd members that would be a great fit for our services.
Right.
On the flip side, on the program side, our staff works very diligently on figuring out which horses match with which people, no matter what program we're dealing
Mhm.
with. So every horse, just like every human, is shaped differently. So if we're talking about the riding program, we look at the functional ability of the person and also their, what they need in their body, and we focus on what the horse's movement does, and we try and match people based on that movement. From an unmounted perspective, like let's talk about our veterans.
Mhm.
Our mental health therapist might want a horse that provides a little bit more connection or interacts with the group more than, let's say, a horse that really is empathetic and listening. Not to say that our horses aren't empathetic, but there are horses that have a lot more energy than others and really interact with people on the ground in different ways. So depending on the treatment plan, that licensed mental health clinician might want to work with different horses. So it really depends on the needs of a person or the needs of the group
Mhm.
when we're trying to match horses with program.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, and I just wanted to let everybody's appetite about this because what we're going to do, obviously, in the coming weeks, we're going to get into more things, and you and I will definitely brainstorm a lot more topics. Our main objective was to get everybody here tonight an opportunity to introduce the program to everyone, to kind of let everybody know what we're going to be doing. And as I said, when I was over at the barns hanging out with you, it was neat. It was very refreshing to be around those animals because many years ago, when I was a lot younger than I am now. Oh my goodness, another lifetime ago. Highland, Michigan. Well, welcome to your world. I remember working with horses, and then after that, I used to cover horse racing. The Florida Derby is what I used to cover, but and now I'm full circle here doing a horse show, but for a really good cause. So, as we get ready to wrap up this first show, is there anything out there that you want people to know about this as we continue our adventure into what we're going to be working together?
I'm just excited to work with you, Scott. And I think if anybody out there is intrigued and wants to come out and see us, I'm happy to give a tour at any time. Just like you said, Scott, you enjoyed your visit. So anybody can give me a
Right.
call at any time at 954-974-2007, and we can schedule a tour and you can meet some of the horses and see what we're all about in Tradewinds Park in Coconut Creek.
Yeah, so let everybody know where Tradewinds Park is.
So we are off of Sample Road right before the turnpike. And unfortunately, right before right before the Festival Flea Market, or what used to be the Festival Flea Market if you're a local in the area, because the Festival Flea Market is no more.
Yeah, I bought a lot of good stuff there, including my microphone. And I even bought a few more of them. I took the last microphones that they had.
I
But
know,
I said,
it's a bummer.
I'll bet you bought a lot of interesting stuff there as well, didn't you? So, but now you have our first show, Molly and Scott. And when I get done with Molly and she gets her feet wet, I am going to do my best to bring her on the hockey show after she's gotten her feet wet because she's going to be a star. And I don't know why she's going to be a star, but that smile and that personality and my desire to mentor this woman, there's no way she's going to lose. And I'll be darned if she is going to lose, but she's a winner and she's working for this particular company, everything she stands for. And that's why I invited her to, because normally what we'll do is I may bring a nonprofit on one time is what I usually do. But when I looked at you and I got to know you, not only business wise, but personally, because the way we hit it off as well as we did, I want to do everything I can to give Molly, because you're the executive director and I own this place, an opportunity for us to work together and see if we can take your business to a different level. And I have every intention of doing my darndest to try, Molly. I'm proud to have you as my co-host on this show.
Thanks, Scott. I'm too, and I'm excited to, just get this ball rolling with you. It'll be fun.
All right, Katie, why don't you come on here for one last station break and let everybody know about the book, and then we'll wrap her up. Great job, Molly. I'm proud of you, and we'll be in touch after. Well, you'll probably see Candy tomorrow over at the networking thing. She do live presentation. Let's go out there and promote what Molly probably will get into the second version. Go ahead, Candace.
South Florida Tribune Publishing Company published a book, Lessons from the Microphone, Tuning into the Enduring Wisdom of Visionary Leaders. It is written by our host, Scott, the Motor City Madmouth Morganroth. Talks about his 40-plus years in the media business and how it has evolved, old school media versus new school media. Get your copy today. It's available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Kindle, Google, and Apple Books. The audiobook is also out there. There's a link on our website as well, www.southfloridatribune.com, where there's a plethora of great content, so go check it out. If you like to listen to podcasts, you can find us wherever you get your podcast. Last but not least, if you see the red subscribe button in that lower right-hand corner, that means you have not yet subscribed to our channel. What are you waiting for? Just do it. Click it, like us, share us. And then tell all your friends and family and turn on your notifications so you're notified every time we have one of our great programs on the air. Back to you, Scott and Molly.
All right, we have a busy night on the agenda here on the network, so I just want to kick things off with Molly and I, the Motor City Madmouth. We're talking about horses, people. And like I said, I remember years ago covering races down in Hallandale. I was at the Florida Derby, but this is a much different thing because it stands for much better things, and that's being able to utilize that for help people with disabilities out. So with that said, great first act, Molly. Didn't I tell you this would be easy or what?
You made it easy, Scott, so thank you. I appreciate you.
Well, I have a great student. What do you want me to tell you? I'm only as good as what I have to work with. And you're the best. Come on, this stuff isn't hard to do. I've only been doing this stuff 47 years. If I haven't figured it out by now, God only knows if I ever will.
Incredible.
Yeah, well, you're incredible too. All right, well, that does it tonight for the Motor City Madmouth Show. On behalf of Molly Murphy, M Square, this is Scott Morganroth, the Motor City Madmouth. Thank you for joining us. We'll catch you, obviously, I think next Wednesday night, same time, 7 o'clock. Take care, everybody. Have a good night, and we'll see you in a bit. Bye now.
Bye, everybody.